You know, we haven't really talked about tritone substitution, but notice that F7 altered when you play that flat 5 in the bass is the same as a B dominant 13 chord, right? Here's our 7th of B. Here's our 3rd of B. There's our 9th of B. And that G sharp is the 13th of B. So it's B13. Hey pianists! So this week we are continuing with Stella by Starlight. This time we are doing the comping of this tune, and this is our last assignment for the term. So this should be pretty straightforward. It's the same type of stuff we've been doing all term. We've got 4 notes in the right hand and a 2-feel bass line in the left hand. So I'm just going to play through it, and I'll just stop to point out anything that seems relevant. I'll kind of talk through it a little bit. For the E minor 7 flat 5 chord, I chose to start with 3rd on the bottom in my right hand. And so, yeah, I'm just going to voice lead. It's a 2-5 in D minor. And then remember, for our minor 7 flat 5 chords and for our dominant 7 altered chords, on beat 3 in the left hand, you don't want to do the natural 5th, you want to do the flat 5th, right? So on that A7 altered, we play an A on beat 1 in the left hand, and then we play an E flat on beat 3. Now if you wanted, there are other notes you could play. You could play like the 3rd, which could sound really nice leading to the C minor in the next measure, right? Because it's just going down a half step. But what you probably don't want to play is an E natural on beat 3. So yeah, I'm suggesting go with the flat 5 on these dominant 7 altered chords. So we start, I'm going back to the beginning, or no, I'll keep going. I'll come back to the beginning later, and just do the whole stretch. So we've done this for our A7 altered, and then I moved my right hand up just so I'm not getting too low too early for C minor 7. And then it's a circle of 5th cycle, so that F7 becomes F minor 7, and we keep that 3rd on the bottom, so the A moves down to A flat. And it's a 2-5, so the only note that needs to move from the F minor 7 to B flat 7 is the E flat, moving down to D in the right hand. The other 3 notes all stay the same. And in our left hand, we're just playing roots on 1, 5ths on 3. So F minor 7, B flat 7. Now here's the E flat major. Okay, and we just voice lead. Our 3rds become 7ths, our 7ths become 3rds, our 13th becomes a 9th, and our 9th becomes a 13th. So here's E flat major, and here's that A flat 7. Okay, now you don't have to move up here in the right hand. You could potentially like go to a B flat major with like the 13th on bottom, could sound nice, or with the 5th on bottom even. But I've been generally keeping either 3rds or 7ths on bottom. So I thought it worked well to just have us moving up. And then 2-5-1 in D minor. Okay, now here I moved up again. This is that 2-5, we talked about it last week. It's kind of an unconventional 2-5 in A flat. And Bill Evans played that change with Miles Davis, and I went through a few of the other options there last week, but this is a nice progression. And then it moves upward again. So you'll notice, if you just follow cycles around, they're going to tend to move your right hand lower and lower. So you have to just pick good places to kind of jump up. I thought that F major is a nice place to jump up. And then here's that 2-5 in D minor. And it's a 2-5 circle of fifth cycle. So that A7 becomes an A minor 7, flat 5. D7 altered. And now we're on the bridge. We're on this G7 altered chord. So again, it's our thirds become sevenths, our sevenths become thirds. The sharp 9 on D7 is going to move down and become the flat 13 of E7. The sharp 5 of D7 or flat 13 of D7 is going to stay where it is and become the sharp 9 of G7 altered. So here's our G7 altered, and again, because it's an altered chord, we're not going to want to play the natural fifth. We'll probably do the flat fifth. That's what I'm suggesting. You could also, this is a part where you're sitting on one chord for a while. You could do some kind of pedaling of the bass note. So that means where you just are sitting on that one bass note for a while. So you might end up with some octaves, which can sound cool. Or some combination of those things. Anyway, we're going from G7 altered to C minor 7. Right, and it just voice leads as a 5 to 1. Right, and then I moved up here for A flat 7. And then I moved up again for the B flat major. And now we have a 2-5 whole step cycle with minor 2-5s. Now for my taste, if I were to keep going with this same voicing, it would be getting a little low for my taste. So I chose to invert up on this C minor 7 flat 5. Notice I'm playing that flat 5 on the F7 altered in the bass. So, we haven't really talked about tritone substitution, but notice that F7 altered, when you play that flat 5 in the bass, is the same as a B dominant 13 chord. Right? Here's our 7th of B. Here's our 3rd of B. There's our 9th of B. And that G sharp is the 13th of B. So it's B13, which is the same when we have the F in the bass as F7 altered, F7 sharp 5 sharp 9. And I also think it was sort of nice moving up there for that C minor 7 flat 5 to F7 altered, because it puts you back kind of where you've been sitting when you get to this B flat major 7, which is going to feel nice when you get to the top of the form again to do your E minor 7 flat 5. That's going to voice lead nicely. Okay, so I'm going to play through the whole progression, and this time I'm going to I'll keep that half note bass line, but I might put a little bit more rhythm into my right hand. But I'm just using these voicings. So a 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So anyway, that's comping through Stella. Uh, I'm real pleased with all the work I'm seeing from you all. I know we've covered a lot this term from a distance. Next term, I'm real excited. We'll be taking a lot of these concepts and finding. I felt like this term was really trying to solidify these concepts, and the next term we'll get to take them and expand on them into some different contexts, different directions, all built on this. So I feel like we've gotten a pretty solid foundation this term, and I'm really, really proud of all the work you all have done. Um, Please let me know what questions you have about this, and I'm looking forward to hearing your music. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a good one.